Think about some of the most luxurious brands in the world. Names such as Dior, Fendi, Givenchy, and Louis Vuitton are bound to be buzzing around your mind right now. We all know about these fashion and beauty giants, but most of us don't know about the man behind the conglomerate that owns them. Known as the Wolf in Cashmere, the subject of today's video has definitely gained legendary status over the years. Bernard Arnault, CEO and chairman of LVMH, a group of companies that owns Louis Vuitton, Moët Hennessy, and Hennessy, among many other luxury brands, has surpassed Jeff Bezos as the world's second wealthiest individual. Arnault's net worth as of this video is at $194.4 billion, topping Bezos' worth by roughly $10 million. Only Tesla's Elon Musk is worth more, at $249 billion. So join us as we take a peek inside Bernard Arnault's $190 billion empire, and how he built it. Let's begin by telling you a bit about his initial years. Arnault was born on the 5th of March, 1949 in Roubaix, France. He graduated from École Polytechnique, France's leading engineering school. After this, he began working at his father's civil engineering company, but wanted to switch the gears. He convinced his father to shift the focus of the company to real estate, and the company grew tremendously over the years. He even managed to acquire a textile company, which was foreshadowing of his involvement in the textile industry later in life. Before we go further, please give this video a huge thumbs up, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this type of content. Now, let's continue. Number 1. What does Bernard Arnault own? In 1984, young Arnault learned that Christian Dior was for sale, and he pounced. Its parent company had gone bankrupt, and the French government was looking for a buyer. Arnault offered $15 million of his family's money, and Lazard, a financial advisory firm, supplied the rest of the $80 million purchase price. At the time, he pledged to revive operations and preserve jobs, but instead he fired 9,000 workers and pocketed $500 million, selling off most of the business. This is when the media dubbed Arnault the Wolf in a Cashmere Coat. Pretty fitting title, don't you think? In 1989, he was unanimously elected chairman of the executive management board of LVMH, the company he is now CEO of. Louis Vuitton Moët Hennessy was going through a fight between the company's brand heads, and this gave Arnault the opening. After conquering LVMH, Arnault spent billions to acquire leading European companies in fashion, fragrance, jewelry and watches, and fine wines and spirits. The company currently owns about 75 internationally recognized luxury good brands, including Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, Sephora, Moët Hennessy, and Hennessy. Of course, the business giant has also invested in other ventures to further increase his wealth. From 1998 to 2001, Arnault invested in a variety of web companies such as Boo.com, Liberty Surf, and ZBank through his holding Zeropatweb. Arnault also invested in Netflix sometime later. In 2007, Arnault gained joint ownership with the property firm Colony Capital, with 10.69% of France's largest supermarket retailer and the world's second largest food distributor, Carrefour. In 2008, he entered the yacht business and bought Princess Yachts for almost $300 million. And of course, would he even be a billionaire if he didn't own his own private yacht? His current 333-foot yacht, Symphony, was built in the Netherlands and cost him $150 million. Other than that, it is rumored that he is a centi-billionaire who owns a private island in the Bahamas called Indigo Island. In 2006, Arnault started the building project of the Louis Vuitton Foundation. Dedicated to creation and contemporary art, the building was designed by the architect Frank Gehry. Lastly, he is an avid art collector and is particularly known for his love of contemporary art. His collection includes work by Andy Warhol, Pablo Picasso, Henry Moore, and Yves Klein. Number 2. How did Bernard Arnault capture the luxury segment market through his companies? In the past, luxury brands such as the ones that fall under LVMH were only reserved for the ultra-rich. But in today's age, it's common to see people from a variety of wealth brackets buying luxury goods. Maybe not their whole wardrobes, but a bag or wallet from, say, Dior is seen as an investment piece. Therefore, LVMH's success is of course directly linked to the growing number of consumers in this segment. This is especially the case in emerging countries where the growing middle class and easier access to goods thanks to e-commerce has sent sales soaring. Online business is a new opportunity to open new sales and marketing channels, reaching new customers and realizing higher margins. Luxury brands have long been been hesitant to jump into e-commerce, fearing that being too easily available might hurt their image. But Arnault saw the massive business opportunity it presented and pushed LVMH to embrace this trend. Another key factor that helped LVMH capture the luxury segment market is diversification. The almost 75 companies that fall under Arnault's belt offer up a variety of different products that appeal to a variety of different people. Chances are that if you're purchasing from a luxury brand, a good chunk of the profit is going to LVMH. But why? Because they probably own it. So let's take a look at some of the examples of brands that all fall under LVMH, but offer different types of products. Dom Perignon is one of the oldest among LVMH's portfolio. The champagne company was one of the initial brands part of Moët Hennessy, which later merged with Louis Vuitton to create LVMH. Another example is the ever-famous Sephora. The global cosmetic chain was founded in 1969 and was acquired by LVMH nearly 30 years later. And since the makeup market grew 1,000-fold over the last decade, so did LVMH's profits. Even Fenty Beauty by Rihanna is owned by Arnault's company. In a deal with one of the biggest pop stars on the planet, LVMH's launch of the Fenty brands made Rihanna the first woman of color to launch a label with LVMH, and the first woman to have an original brand with the luxury conglomerate. Next up is Bulgari. The famous jewelry brand, founded in 1884, sold to LVMH for $6.01 billion in an all-share deal. According to reports, the Bulgari family sold their 50.4% controlling stake in their namesake brand for 3% of LVMH. And lastly, we have Rimowa, a luggage company. Founded in 1989, LVMH obtained an 80% stake in Rimowa for roughly $700 million. The company is now run by Alexander Arnault, the son of Bernard Arnault. Number 3, prices of products that come under his companies and the margin behind those products. So by now, we know that most of the companies owned by LVMH are considered to be high-end, and products sold are not exactly cheap. But since these brands earn so much, the profit margin is bound to be high. So let's look at some of the products sold by LVMH companies, their prices, and the profit margins. Louis Vuitton is known for their bags, and they usually have markups of about 20 to 30 times the manufacturing costs. The cost of making a Louis Vuitton handbag is around $200 to $400, while the retail price ranges around $1,500 to $6,000. Next up, a La Mer foundation on the Sephora website costs $135, but the average cost of making a foundation is about $5. That means that the markup is over 25 times the original cost. Lastly, a pair of men's denim jeans on the Givenchy website retails for about $1,000 to $1,500. Not surprisingly at all, it only takes about $10 to produce a pair of good quality jeans. That's a shocking margin of nearly 150 times the original cost. So no wonder old Arnault is rolling in cash. But although these margins are high, it must be noted that much of this money goes to things such as global marketing budget, shipping costs or property costs of the physical shops, training and salaries of the highly skilled sales teams, and much more. And with more rare products such as a leather handbag or top-notch wine, the actual cost of sourcing raw materials would also be very high. Arnault is officially the richest person in fashion, and the prices of these products give us a pretty good hint as to why that is. But we'll leave it up to you to decide if these products are worth it or not. And with that, today's video comes to a close. Do you think Bernard Arnault might become the richest man in the world someday? And do you think his title of the Wolf in Cashmere is justified? Rumor has it that he doesn't like that title and considers himself shy and gentle in person. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to smash that like button and hit the notification bell for future updates. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.